Selflessness. Mental age. What's your mental age? That's going to determine whether or not you develop the quality of selflessness. You got 3 goals every day. How about let's have 4? 4th goal today, do something for somebody else. Do something for somebody that can't do anything for you. There's no reciprocal agreement. You're going to just do something to help somebody. See, that's developing the quality of selflessness. It's not just saying, I'm a selfless guy. It's saying, I'm going to do something today for somebody that can't do anything for me. The quality of selflessness. During the Vietnam War, at the end of the Vietnam War, when they were evacuating Hanoi, it was chaos. And I mean, there was, some got out, some were on boats, and most of you have read about it and seen stories of it and everything. And during this evacuation, this little boy got shot. And he was losing so much blood, and his brother, his older brother, brought him in. And they needed to give the boy a blood transfusion. And they didn't have time to check blood, but they had the brother there. So it was worth the risk. So the boy spoke Vietnamese. The surgeon spoke English. So they tried to figure out, and they finally got across to him that they were going to give the transfusion of his blood to his little brother. And that would maybe save his life. And so, sure enough, they started the transfusion. And after a couple of hours, the younger boy was getting a lot better. I mean, you could see the color coming back. And they had sewn him up, and they said, I think he's going to be fine. And the older brother was sobbing real quietly, just kind of a muffled crying. And so they got an interpreter. And they asked him, they said, your brother's going to be fine. Are you okay? And he said, yeah. When do I die? He said, what? He said, well, you're taking all my blood. When do I die? And the surgeon said he thought about it, and he thought, you don't understand. We only wanted a part of your blood, a pint of your blood. You still have plenty to live. But the boy never hesitated. When they said, we need you to give blood, he believed in every ounce of him that he was giving all of his blood so his brother could live. Now, let me ask all of you really sharp people out there, would you think he was selfless or selfish? What do you think his mental age was? He was giving up a short-term pleasure of being alive for a long-term goal of his brother being alive. What do you think his mental age was? If he had been selfish, what would he have said? No way, you're on your own, find somebody else. But he wasn't. He was selfless. And they both built. And they both evacuated and came to the United States. But the fact of it is that the one was willing to give everything he had. How about you? Who's laying on that cot next to you? Who is it that you would give all you've got for them to live? And if you say nobody, I'm afraid you haven't started on the road to selflessness. See, there's got to be people in your life that you're willing to give everything you have for them to have a better life. How many parents do you think that live today? And some of you haven't, or some of you have gotten at them like I did, that their parents are going to work 2 and 3 jobs in order for me to have a better life. My dad worked 2 and 3 jobs. One time, a guy asked one of my brothers, and I was there when they asked him, they said, "Did your dad ever play pitch with you?" And he said, "My dad was working 3 jobs a day. When do you think he would have played pitch with me?" You know, our dad would have given anything in the world to play pitch with us. But he had to work. It was 6 boys. And at that time, women didn't work. They stayed home. So he had to work 2 and 3 jobs just to put food on the table, clothes on our back. But he never batted an eye and never thought anything about it. And to the day he died, never wanted any credit for it. And every time you tried to tell him, "Thank you," that thing, "Oh, shut up, boy." You know, he was not a person that gave into feelings. But he knew what it was like. How many of y'all have parents, brothers, sisters that give of themselves so that you can have a better life? And what are you doing in return? How many guys in your company are doing everything they can so you'll be successful? How many guys on your team? How many people in your class? How many teachers have you had that go out of their way to make sure you have a good life? Miss Cup read to us every day, 4th grade. Every day after lunch, she read Tom Sawyer. She read book after book after book, and she could read them like nobody's business. And she developed in each one of us a love to read. She gave it all she had. She wouldn't worry about what somebody thought about her. She'd act like Aunt Polly, and she was sweeping under that bed looking for Tom. And she never once thought about, "I look like a fool." Because I got a feeling, and I never had, I got a feeling she thought, "I'm going to put in their minds how great it is to read." And she read us the classics. How many teachers have you had that give everything they've got so you can be where you are today? That's selflessness. Well, let's turn it around. That 4th goal, you're doing something for somebody else. What are you doing? And if you're doing it in order to get some kind of return, you ain't going to get it. Selflessness. It's giving of yourself for others. And until you develop that quality, until you develop selflessness, you can stop the curriculum, because you're never going to be the best you that you can be. You've got to develop selflessness to be the best you that you can be.